Movie rant number one. Wonder Woman 1984. Wonder Woman 1984 is a movie that is such a huge departure from the original Wonder Woman that I cannot believe it was made by the same people that made the first one. The movie starts off with Diana in her childhood, and it's great to be back in the Amazon, and it sets up the tone that you hope would be the whole tone of the movie, which is action adventure kind of deal. But then it's suddenly departs to this weird Spider-Man like opening where you see Diana performing several heroic acts. Now the several heroic acts are accompanied by images of Maxwell Lord, the villain, all sprinkled in the background. And the sequence that followed is the most slapsticky sequence that I've seen. For a minute I thought I was watching Spider-Man, because Diana goes into this whole like gymnastics in the air that is more reminiscent of Spider-Man than they are of Wonder Woman. And the villains are slapstick comedy, kind of like a Three Stooges kind of deal, where they're fumbling with their guns, they're fumbling of what to do, and all of this is like combined with this whole little girl, like watching Diana doing all of this, and a sequence of her rescuing the little girl, and it's really disoriented to see something so Spider-Man like in a Wonder Woman movie. And Diana goes off into the sunset, and it's just like it gives this tone to the movie that is just like confusing, as it were, because it's such a departure from it. But I'm gonna just focus on what bothered me, what impacted me, what I saw. I'm not gonna focus on a detail about the movie. But then it follows up, the next thing that I remember is watching Cheetah, the villain, and it's the introduction of her that surprised me, because it's so reminiscent of Selina Kyle from Batman Returns, and it's just a copy-paste character. It's just Selina Kyle's character in the Wonder Woman 1984 movie, and it's just surprising to see that. And it's surprising because I don't think they actually put any thought on how this character was going to be, because after she meets Diana for a couple of instances, it's not that much. I mean, we're not given the hint that they know them, that they get to know each other real well. Because all we see is a bit of interaction and then a dinner date, and then that's about it. It just goes from there, and it just jumps from there, and suddenly it's like Diana saves her from this drunk dude that tries to assault her, Cheetah. And now Cheetah immediately wishes that she could be more like Diana, even though Diana told her in their little dinner date that everybody had their own struggles. But Cheetah immediately assumes that being like Diana, more like Diana, would be so much better than what she is, even though Diana had offered her to learn defensive skills, martial arts, as it were. And it's just like it goes from there. There's this magical stone that grants them wishes. And Maxwell Lord, the villain, that's one of the stupidest things that I've seen somebody do. He has a magical stone that grants a wish. It has a caveat. I don't know if he knows this, but he must have, because there's a lot of research stuff. But he knows that there's a consequence to making a wish for the stone. So in the stone, if you make a wish on the stone, it's like basically a monkey's paw, as Steve Trevor says in the movie. Diana makes a wish to get Steve Trevor back. Cheetah makes a wish to be more like Diana. There's a dude that orders coffee. I don't know what his caveat was. I don't know what evil thing happened to him. But Maxwell Lord wishes for him to become the stone. And it's just like, okay, and the way it works is like, he can only grant other people's wishes. He can grant himself a wish. So he has to get other people to agree to make a wish so he can grant it. But by doing so, he can then take something from them. And that wasn't specifically what it was specified in the stone, but that's how it works from now on. And then he goes off and just starts granting wishes left and right, because more. I guess it affected him. I guess something happened. I don't know. But all he wants is more to grant more wishes, to be number one. I guess he feels like it's granting him more power because he says that he can fix himself. And it's just like, but you are hurting yourself. Like, you already have all this power and you have amassed all this wealth, but his character is all just a one-tone character, which is like more. Wonder Woman and Steve, this is the confusing thing. Like, they're having their little real life moment where they're investigating stuff, and you see them, and just like, if they were gonna make a depowered Diana, a depowered Wonder Woman, they should have gone with those 60s when Wonder Woman became a martial arts expert and she wore that whole white suit. Because this one is just disappointing to see Diana being so underwhelming. They start investigating and they figure out that Maxwell Lord has the stone and they have to get the stone back. So they have to go to Egypt because Maxwell Lord goes to Egypt because there's this dude that has oil in there. And Wonder Woman, they arrive at Steve Trevor says like, if we could only, there's planes that can fly us there. And he's like, yeah. And he was like, well, I'm a pilot, we can fly us there. So Diana takes him to this hangar, and she flashes a card, and the doors open, allowing access to it. And I'm thinking this might be her garage, her hangar. This is where, because she's pretty old, she has a certain type of money, she has influences. But it's just like, no, because as soon as they take a plane, the alarms go off and everybody starts following them. So was this her hangar, or was this not her hangar? Did they steal the plane? It's just confusing. That whole thing just made me wonder and took me out of it. Diana's magical now. She can make stuff invisible. So, okay, because magic, apparently. It's just stuff like that it's fan service for the sake of fan service and makes no sense. Should never be in a movie because she makes the plane invisible just by focusing, and it's an old Amazon trick, apparently. It's silly. Well, they're in the plane. The thing that I found most insulting was that Steve Trevor teaches Wonder Woman how to fly. He basically gives her the hints on how to fly, on how to ride the waves, and it's just like, no, dude, it's Wonder Woman. How did they make her so dependent on Steve Trevor when she is the one that usually saves him? I have no idea, but they did that. They made her a secondary character in her own movie. It felt like I felt so detached from it. I felt angry because I wasn't seeing Wonder Woman. They arrive in Egypt, and how did they land? You don't know, because the next thing you see, it's them on a taxi. Maxwell Lord has finished doing his deal with the Prince of Sudan or whatever, or Egypt, whatever, the dude that has the oil, and he goes. They're in the same. Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor are coming, and he's going, and they pass him in traffic. And Diana is like, that's him. She magically transforms in the car into Wonder Woman, and then she sets up to stop him. Now, because her powers are diminished, she gets the shit kicked out of her. She can't even lift 2 kids off the ground, even though she just pushed like a massively armored vehicle away from her. Even though she took a bullet like to the shoulder, like she's still strong, and yet somehow she couldn't lift 2 kids off the road. And her powers are diminishing. Now, all the while, she has Cheetah looking for stuff on the stone for her, because Cheetah is not a bad guy. Is not a villain at this point. She's turning into one. Which, by the way, let's talk about that. She goes. She's like, I'm a woman. Hear me roar, and you're all for it. Because, yeah, she has more confidence, she's stronger, she feels more secure in herself. So you're like, these are all positive traits. Now, when she gets assaulted yet again by this drunken dude, she beats the shit out of him. And the thing is, like, you're supposed to be like, oh, she gone too far. Listen, I am never gonna feel empathy for somebody beating up a fucking assault guy. A criminal. Somebody that assaults you. Somebody that literally eats a fucking... By a point of deduction, if he assaulted her, he wanted to rape her. It's a rapist. I'm never gonna feel sympathy for those kind of people. So go, Cheetah, go. She's not like, what the hell, right? But then this homeless guy shows up, which she's always been nice to, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And it's just like, no, you're trying to paint her into the bad guy. When no, I'm not gonna feel that. I'm not gonna feel empathy towards the fucking to to the assault dude, the possible rapist. And you're not gonna make me feel that way. I was like, yeah, go girl, beat the shit out of that dude. I am not. How is that a bad guy? No, but it's supposed to show like, oh, she's gone too far. She's getting lost on her own power. Whatever. She tells Diana that she found this Maya dude that is gonna help her out because apparently the stone also is like has some Maya origins, and they go in and this is the silly part of the movie. Cheetah tells Diana that I'll meet you there in this like the next day. Diana just shows up immediately, and even Cheetah asks, "How do you get here so fast?" Now Diana and Steve are wearing the same clothes, and it's just like it's like they teleported. That's how it's like. So they met this Maya dude. Well, I don't think it's Maya. I think it's just that the descendant of a Maya or whatever. His granddaddy was one. I don't care. And he tells her that the only way to defeat this magical stone is to either take back your wish or destroy the stone or kill the dude. Cheetah doesn't want this, right? So while they're all planning on how they're gonna go about doing this thing, Cheetah's like, deuces, I'm out. She literally pulls a Batman and she leaves them there. Wonder Woman and Steve think nothing of it, and they go out after Maxwell Lord. Steve tried to convince Wonder Woman to give up her powers because she's getting weak. They arrive at the White House because Maxwell Lord wants to be like the most important person. Like he literally wants to be like number one, I guess. Where he finds out that there's a satellite that can connect them to the whole planet. If he connects them to the whole planet, everybody can wish, and he'll become more powerful, and he can heal himself. They're in the White House, and this is the most infuriating scene in the whole movie for me because I swear to God, Diana's strength, her powers are being taken away. She is being depowered, as it were. But just because the stone took your powers does not mean that the stone took your skills as a warrior. You're a warrior. You were trained as an Amazonian warrior. How in the hell do you have Steve Trevor being more useful in this scene than Wonder Woman? It is quite annoying to see Wonder Woman, the epicness that is Wonder Woman, the after seeing her fight Superman in the Justice League, after seeing take on Steppenwolf, after seeing taking a god on the first movie, a god, she can't take on a couple of Secret Service agents? She can't. She gets shot at by the dude and he actually hits her. Diana, you're a strong, powerful Amazonian warrior. You have reflexes, you have skills, you know a bunch of martial arts skills. You know you're the best, one of the best fighters. And you can't take on a couple of Secret Service agents. That is really annoying. It is infuriating to see Steve Trevor do more. She shows up because she's not gonna let them take Maxwell Lord and beats the ever-living shit out of Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman's left on the ground, bleeding and all hurt. And Steve goes and saves her. And it's also, there's a little part where Steve actually gets his hands on Maxwell Lord, and he doesn't knock him out. He has been knocking out Secret Service agents left and right, and when he arrives in this scene, he can't knock him out. Like, it's silly. And Diana, Cheetah goes with Maxwell Lord. Maxwell Lord grants another wish. And Wonder Woman relinquishes her wish. She takes back her wish. And she learns how to fly as she starts to heal. Oh, and they introduce this super power armor that they have because, you know, reasons, I guess. And the armor looks badass. She's now fully powered. She has her armor. She goes into battle. She does now fully transform Cheetah. And the sequence of this fight, it is the same. It's so similar to Electro versus Spider-Man. And I'm making these comparisons because that is what this movie reminded me of. It reminded me of Spider-Man. She does this Cirque du Soleil thing on the last battle. And it's just so reminiscent of the Electro versus Spider-Man fight that it's with Cirque du Soleil sprinkled in it. Diana, all she does is defend with the armor, while Cheetah starts destroying her, starts taking on the armor bit by bit. And I know people are gonna say, well, Diana didn't want to hurt her, and it's just like, well, she could have knocked her out with one solid punch. She didn't necessarily need to drag on this fight or take her out like she did, because she electrocutes Cheetah. She doesn't kill her, but she electrocutes her, and Cheetah's still alive. Apparently, it only gave her strength. It doesn't give her invulnerability that Diana has, because Diana is fine when they get electrocuted. And that takes care of Cheetah, apparently, because Cheetah can go on after that one. Diana finally goes in to face Maxwell Lord, and she starts talking to him. And she just starts. She pulls. I'm gonna sound really geeky here, but she does a talk no jutsu. It's when a character talks to the villain and convinces him to just how wrong he was. She somehow gets her lasso and shows Maxwell Lord like flashback of his childhood. And I'm just like wondering, if you re-show somebody, the messed up childhood that they had, then that would reinforce them being more evil, because negative aspect of your childhood that's what molded him into being the man that he was, and he was so focused on that he disregarded his kids and the safety of the whole world because of the childhood that he had, because it molded him into the man that he is. Showing him this would just reaffirm his conviction of continuing on his path that he is. But apparently no, this gives him like some reason, and then his kids start calling him, and he realizes that, oh no, my kid. And it's just like a Kratos moment where it's just like, I need my son, boy. Like, he goes again with his son. And Wonder Woman, oh, she is in a corner crying while she's pleading for the bad guy to please stop it. In the comics, Wonder Woman took on Maxwell Lord and she broke his neck, killing him, because she's a warrior. The only way to stop Maxwell Lord was to kill him. And she does this because she's a warrior. She understands the consequences. Even if the whole Justice League, even if the whole world turned against him, to her, that was the right call. Batman and Superman even tell her, we don't take lives. And she's like, it was the right thing to do because that was the only way to save the world. So she kills she kills Maxwell Lord. And she doesn't here. She sobs in a corner while she pleads for the bad guy to stop it. And it's just like, it's such a disappointing movie. It disappointed me in so many levels. I made a whole rant while I was angry, but I had to sleep on it because I was like, no, that's too much. But this is like, I honestly felt so disappointed about this movie because I didn't see Wonder Woman. It's just such a shame that they did this to the movie, and I really feel like I really feel like they really took the wonder out of the woman. It's just like, it's not Wonder Woman. Steve Trevor helps her most of the time. Cheetah is doing most of the work. Diana feels like a secondary character in this, and it's just like, it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie, and I feel so bad because I love Wonder Woman, but it's just not a good movie. And there's the positives. Diana, when she's Wonder Woman, when she's flying in the sky, it's awesome. When she shows off in her armor, it's all good. But those are all immediately taken away by the fact that you remember that Steve Trevor was the one that taught her how to fly. By the fact that when she starts fighting Cheetah, all she does is cover herself with the wings, and Cheetah starts just basically overpowering her. But Wonder Woman has her strength back, and she has her skills. Seeing her struggle against like Secret Service agents, it's so underwhelming. It's so bad. But I was in the positive. Sorry, I was in the positive. The positives: her flying through the sky. The armor looks pretty good. Cheetah, her character design is pretty good. It's really close to the comics, which I like. And then the best part of the movie is the cameo of Linda Carter, the original Wonder Woman, as being the legendary Amazonian. They have the armor. That's just amazing. It's amazing because she even has a little bracelet on. And the cameo, it needed the cameo was the best part of the movie. I love that part. And that's about it. That I can't say anymore. If I keep saying it more, I'll just hang on points that I I'll just keep preparing myself. So I mean, this is just how I feel. This is how I felt watching this movie, and it's just like to me, it just felt underwhelming. It feels bad, man. It just feels bad.